Hello, hello, can you hear me? It's Kit, your favorite shapeshifter with another video. I got a mic finally. Let me know how it sounds. I can't exactly buy a professional one, so I hope it sounds okay. Tonight, I'm gonna talk about, or I'm gonna talk a little bit, hopefully, about harmful headcanons and how dangerous they can be if misinterpreted or presented as if they're canon. Now, this isn't to bash or bully anyone with an unpopular headcanon, but it's important to know that a person's thoughts can be twisted in the hands of the wrong kind of people. Now, the headcanon I'm addressing is the headcanon on Doe the Doman from Puppy Playtime Chapter 4, Having DID. Now, I've only seen this headcanon on TikTok so far, but I kind of want to make a video on it just before it becomes a big thing. So for those of you who don't know what DID is, it's dissociative identity disorder. It's a trauma-informed mental health condition characterized by the presence of two or more distinct identities or personality states that alternate in controlling the person's behavior and thoughts. They're typically called alters. A person with DID may have multiple identities, switching between them, bouts of amnesia, and a history of traumatic events. This could be childhood trauma or having witnessed something traumatic. I myself do not have DID, but I do have childhood trauma, and I know enough about mental disorders to have an informed understanding of these kinds of issues. So first things first, this headcanon can be easily disproven, which automatically makes it not a real headcanon. So a headcanon, quoting fingers, is a personal interpretation or belief about details of a fictional story that aren't explicitly stated in the official canon. In other words, a personal theory about a fictional universe that isn't necessarily confirmed by the source material. However, in Chapter 4 of Poppy Playtime, it's confirmed that Dewey doesn't have a mental disorder. He's struggling with three consciousnesses inside of him, constantly fighting for control. We know these consciousnesses to be three young boys, Matthew, Kevin, and Jack. So we see Jack fall into a vat of doughy dough at the very beginning of the chapter, and we get a note about Matthew and a tape about Kevin. Now, on the surface, they're all meshed into one body, by the way. They're all three human boys meshed into one single body. So even though the basic premise of 3 in 1 sounds like DID on its surface, let's really take a closer look. So for one, Dewey does not have amnesia. He does not have gaps in his memory. He knows what happened to him and how he was made. He talks directly to the player about it when he's talking about the doctor. Dewey also may have had traumatic experiences, but he doesn't function like a system would due to those experiences. For the most part, until his emotions get out of control, he's stable. Matthew is the main personality, and he's in control for almost the entire chapter until Kevin takes over because Safe Haven was blown up. It said in the tape that talks about Kevin specifically, that if one consciousness is out of sync, it will throw the other two out of balance. And he also doesn't freely switch between the three of them. He only does that when he starts to get overwhelmed with emotion, like at the end of the chapter when we have to fight him. So even if you ignore all of that, it's a potentially harmful representation of a real disorder people struggle with. My favorite YouTuber, Corey Extension, he saw Dewey and within seconds said Dewey needed to be dealt with. He needed to be up out of there. Corey remarked that he was unstable and he would turn on the player in the end, which, he was right, and Dewey does for very valid reasons. But do you really want Dewey to be a representation for a very complex disorder he doesn't have? Because, like, follow my logic. If you show someone who had no idea what DID is, Joey the Dough Man as representation, they would see literally all people with DID as unstable monsters who will snap at any moment and will have to be killed so they don't kill you. Now, I know that's a leap, but I feel like with how crazy people are and the leaps and jumps to conclusions they make, it's not far off to reality. And they're going to think that. Now, of course, that is not at all what people with DID are like, but for someone who does zero research, they could easily jump to that conclusion if you show Doughy by himself as representation for DID. Now, we already have a character with confirmed DID and good representation, Moon Knight from the Marvel Universe. Now, I haven't watched Moon Knight. From what I've heard, it's not perfect, but I've also heard that it's very good representation for like a base of what DID is like. And it's better than projecting a disorder onto a character that canonically and obviously doesn't have it. Now, I know how hard it is to see media without you being represented, but mischaracterizing characters just to suit your own desires also isn't right. That's like saying, Johnny Bravo like disrespects women or something because it's your headcanon when in the show it's shown that like he actually does respect a woman a lot, and it's kind of his thing. He pretends to be like this misogynistic guy because he thinks that's what women want, but the second he finds out that that's not a thing, he's not like that at all. There's even an episode where he becomes a woman and he realizes how weird and gross he's been and how weird and gross men are to women, and he changes his whole attitude after that. I hope this talk /rant/ramble was informative and that you took the right message from it. And also this is my first scripted kind of video, so I hope you enjoyed it, and leave me comments, let me know how I did. So until next time, it's time for this kitten to take a cat nap. Bye!